The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode recently hosted the International Conclave on Globalizing Indian Thought. The three-day conclave was inaugurated by the Honourable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi through a video conference. The event witnessed the unveiling of a full-size statue of Swami Vivekananda. The conclave offered an opportunity for inquisitive and keen thinkers across professions to deliberate on Indian ideas, converging into a plethora of creative platforms.
Globalizing Indian thought is about creating a confident and secure identity as Indians to strengthen our roots and give wings to our new generations. I hope this conference goes beyond well-known indigenous signature practices of Indian management such as Jugaad, Langar, frugal engineering, Debashis and Dabbawalas. We are here to discover, to decode, and to deliberate on a few big ideas that will help shape India's story on the world stage. One big idea is that India will have to find her own trajectory towards global impact. Long-time champion of global leadership, the USA, has exercised geopolitical power. The source of China's power has been geo-economic leadership. India has probably discovered the third way of geo-relational leadership. Our moment as the world's first colonial power has now come. We have enough quality managers, engineers and doctors. We need a few more dreamers. The global Indian dream is finally in place. But where indeed have the dreamers gone? Namaste.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar. Friends, I'm delighted to address a conference on globalizing Indian thought. It is no coincidence that we're talking about globalizing Indian thought at a time when a life-size statue of Swami Vivekananda finds a special place on this campus. Who can forget the contribution of Swami Vivekananda in globalizing Indian thought? Friends, Indian thought is vibrant and diverse. It is constant and evolving. It is too vast to be put in a lecture or a seminar or even a book. But broadly, there are certain ideas that have remained center to Indian values. They are compassion, harmony, justice, service, and openness. Our civilization has prospered when many could not. Why? Because one finds peace and harmony here. India remains one of the biggest contributors to United Nations peacekeeping operations globally. If some of the most conflict-prone zones could breathe the air of peace, our soldiers have a role to play in that. Here, everyone does not only refer to India and Indians, it refers to the world. India believes that when India progresses, the world will progress. And when the world prospers, India will gain by it. I hope seminars such as this popularize more aspects of Indian thought among people. With this, I conclude my remarks and convey my best wishes to IIM Kozhikode. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Prime Minister, before I request you to unveil the digital statue of Swami Vivekananda, I want to quote the original Bengali version from Tagore that you translated for us. Dibe ar nibe milabe milibe jabe na phire ei bharater mahamanabe sagarotire. This is what he translated in his inimitable way. So may I request the Honourable Prime Minister to do the honours for digital unveiling of the statue of Swami Vivekananda in our campus and dedicate this to our nation.
Day one of the conclave also had a keynote address from his spiritual leader, Sri Ravi Shankar, followed by the guest of honor, Dr. Vinay Sahasrabuddhe, Member of Parliament and President of Indian Council of Cultural Relations.
As we heard our Honourable Prime Minister talk about the glory of our country and our achievements that has happened today in the world, we feel there is much more that we need to do. What is thought? That's something that your consciousness attaches when it perceives something outside. Forms are all outside, the names are inside. The world is full of names and forms. An object outside is perceived by your consciousness and it tags a name for it. And the connection between the name and form is what understanding is all about. The feeling and the thought. First of all, see, they are separate. I would say for business people, don't do business with your heart. Don't pour your heart into business. And don't live your life with your head. So in business, put your head, and in life, in interaction with people, you live with your heart. And both can be developed. You know, in one meal, you can have soup and you can have kheer also. But you can't afford to mix them both. If you mix, you will suffer in your business. You know, many times we think being human means being very emotionally something. You know, we go so emotional and we forget the real business sense. That doesn't work. So a business sense is necessary, and you have to have that humanness, and you can develop both. It's easy to develop either one of them, but developing both needs some skill. In this sense, it's a great thing that you have combined here the business ideas and thought, and also the ancient thought and culture and wisdom. I think this will take us a long way to the most cherished dream that we all have, to globalize our Indian thought. Thank you.
I thought if I have to give a title to the presentation, it is Beyond Binaries. Friends, we know that ideas and thoughts have always played an important role in influencing the global narratives. In olden days, the global discourse was influenced by binaries like capitalism versus socialism, the so-called right versus the left, theocracy versus secularism, authoritarianism versus democracy, traditional male mindset-driven approach versus women lib, and last but not the least, limitless consumption versus sustainability. One more potential area threatening global peace and harmony as well has been identity and issues related to multiculturalism. Friends, as a student of social science, when I look back, I believe over the centuries perhaps, world has evolved two different kinds of value systems, if I may put it that way. One value system, you may call it Eastern value system, Indian value system, Oriental value system. It gives importance to values like, say, for example, sacrifice, integrity, honesty, working very hard, being very sincere. And all these values are supremely important, therefore nobody can question the importance of these values. But at the same time, post-industrial revolution in US and everywhere else, a new value system has also taken some shape. That value system, and I need not tell this to you, management students, that value system gives supreme importance to management, presentation, result orientation, productivity, presentation. And unfortunately, I understand that those who are advocating the supremacy of the first value system relentlessly say that this is the supreme value system, and the fact that we are so very honest, we also ought to be very effective. I would say, sorry, perhaps not. And those who believe in the second value system, they say, since we are so adept and so skillful in presentation, management, productivity, we must be very honest. I would say perhaps not. And therefore, ensuring that both these value systems come together, there is a convergence of this value system, which will help the Indian value system perhaps make an impact on the world narrative. That, I believe, is the need of the hour. Thank you very much.
The second day of the conclave featured an esteemed panel that included Professor Alok Chaturvedi, Dr. Vijay Chauthaiwale, and renowned journalist Prabhu Chawla discussing globalization and the influences of Indian and Western culture.
Indian thought, we must identify what are Indian thoughts which are globally acceptable, which are apolitical, which can convert. Kautilya is a thought which can be converted or not. Gandhi is a thought which is converted or not. Even Jawaharlal Nehru was also Indian thought. We have personalities who have become Indian thought. But is there anything related to them? Mahatma Gandhi is also an individual who is a global brand now. Jawaharlal Nehru tried to become a global brand. He could not become because he was liberal in whatever. Yesterday, I was surprised, Amazon chief says that capitalism survives on liberalism. Because liberalism is a bigger market than nationalism. No? So he's looking at market, he's defining liberalism as a market. So if you are a liberal, because you can be any religion or not religion, liberals are all over the place. So Vijay, I would like to look in terms of social thought, in terms of everything, diaspora is a good thing. But what have we imposed on the rest of the world? Like technology, we have been imposed here. Education system, we have not been able to change the education system, Macaulay system, even for the last 72 years. And we are still 3% of, not even 2% of education system. We are spending money on the education system here because education is not a priority.
So just to add to that, so capitalism or liberalism is not an end by itself. So that is a method, a means for prosperity and well-being of people. So we should always look at prosperity and well-being of the people and whatever model works. You are right, there are certain micro-level thoughts which can be propagated, and then there are macro-level thoughts. So macro-level thoughts is, plurality of ideas, so you don't really need to have one way. If you look at all the corporate structures today, so they all have biblical roots. So the whole development of Western ideas and thoughts, they're all coming from the Bible. So some way or the other, it has the roots over there. So our thought process has more or less has become stagnant because we are not really in our education system, in our research, we are not taking those ideas, the things which we knew then, and how we can take it forward and make it more contemporary. So unless and until those things happen, we'll always be said, okay, now this is more about Hindutva, or this is more about that, because that big gap between when those ideas were developed and where we are today, so what is that gap that is going to bridge that? So if we want to do that, I mean, so there's a lot of opportunities to do that. And it is not that, the current model, Western development model and Western model of running corporations is that is the way to go.
Whatever knowledge is coming from anywhere part of the world, we should be generous enough to adapt it, assimilate it, and convert it for our use. That is one general principle. And I feel that the first thing we need to do is to, I can give another lecture on it, but that's not an issue, is our tremendous fear of failure. We lost our risk-taking ability. And someone, college dropout, comes from Harvard, coincidentally, starts some company in a garage and becomes a Microsoft, again a $1 trillion company. Why this case is not happening in India? So we have to ask ourselves tough question that in the era of technology, which is impacting every part of our life, every second of our life, what is our contribution to the global technology?
CNBC TV 18's Nisha Poddar, Aspects of Governance and the Impact of Corporate Culture with Mr. Arun Myra, former chairperson, Boston Consulting Group, and Professor Shyam Sunder from Yale University.
Mr. Myra, you were talking about the Tata Group. Probably what Mr. Muthuraman was facing at that time is something that is being addressed on its own globally, especially because of these ESG funds coming into India and they giving importance to environment, social, as well as the governance aspects of the company as well. So probably the rules have changed now.
They haven't changed. The rules haven't changed. There's some greenwashing being done, if I can honestly say this, okay? How difficult is it to get all companies to adopt the rules? How few are doing it today? In India, we said we want things voluntarily and not the government. So in 2006-07, Tata's leading in all Indian companies, not all, many Indian companies, and with the CII, gathered and said, why don't we develop guidelines that all companies in India would adopt for reporting the effects that they have, not just on shareholders, but on other stakeholders, okay? So they looked at, as you said, GRI, ESG, Global Compact, and so on. And they came up with a set of national voluntary guidelines, come from industry, with the support of civil society and international organizations. And the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, newly being set up, said, this is a good idea. India should be, as you said, innovating and producing ideas which will benefit the world. What happened? Somebody from the business side proposed another association that, this is all very difficult to account for, all these things. Why don't you have a 2% CSR? It's easy to count that. Let them put 2% of their profits into this good stuff. Easy, right? Easy. Does that address the problem? Not at all, because as I asked, and I would ask again, people are not saying how much chanda you put in the temple at the end of the week. They're saying, where did you make the money? So how did you make your incomes and how did you make your profits? So those forms of ESG are addressing that question.
Right. So times are changing, but Professor, what do you think is the correct mix? Do you think that somewhere the Indian chaos versus clarity, and also probably the whole thing of aping the Western world has got us confused somewhere, and we haven't really banked upon our own ancient wisdom, which we already had?
To my mind, it's very simple. I think it's personal responsibility to be taken by each individual in India as everywhere else in the world. If we don't take personal responsibility for consequences of our actions, no government, rules, laws can improve things. Our individual actions have consequences, and if we don't pay attention to consequences of our actions, there's no other solution. You can't have a police state. With that wisdom, I don't know where we're going to go.
Thank you so much.
Day 3 of the conclave had a valedictory session by Padma Shri Award winner and Indian scholar in grassroots innovation, Professor Anil Gupta, who emphasized on Indian thinking and how language can shape ideas. The valedictory session was also graced by the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Kiran Bedi, who spoke about linking our roots to evidence-based Indian thought.
The teaching of a guru is similar to a verbal testimony, which is Praman. Praman Patra goes back to absolutely our growth in civilization. The mantra given by a guru during initiation is known as Guru Mantra, which has the power to cleanse the mind and the body and is believed to act like a boat by which a disciple can pass the ocean of samsara or sanskara and reach the shore of liberation. So I think the first point here is, how can I be a good civil service aspirant? Sometimes I get this question. Look, how can I be a good human being? How can I build my foundation strong, even if it's not built by now? Sometimes some of us have a nurturance. We get nurtured where our foundation is nurtured, right? Our foundation is built. Some of us don't get it, not because of their fault. Circumstances are different. How do they build the foundation? How do they repair it? How do they cure it? Once you cure your foundation, you're made for life. You be anybody you want. You'll be happy in what you want. You'll be happy in what you do. In the end, what is the end goal of moment is, I want to be happy. I want to be, and being healthy is being happy. If you're sick, you won't be happy. So being happy in your mind also is being healthy in mind, is also being happy.
The event also witnessed an enigmatic musical performance by Grammy Award winner Pandit Vishwa Mohan Bhatt.